So Donald Trump's still looking for someone to put on the Federal Reserve. And Stephen Moore, despite the fact that he on national television said, hey, I got a pretty big learning curve for this, a little steep, but I can handle it. And I desperately need a job. Probably not one of the guys that you want to be overseeing the monetary policy of the country. But he's still making his case. He's better than Herman Cain.
Well, but part of what some of the things you're writing show are, to some observers, saying it shows that you're not qualified because of your views on gender, including things like pay equity. I want to point out something you wrote in a 2014 column. You actually asked, what are the implications of a society in which women earn more than men? We don't really know, but it could be disruptive to family stability. A lot of people look at it and say, what do you mean by that?
I just want to make it clear. He wrote this in 2014. Not 1914. 2014. We don't know what could happen if women actually start making. This is basically a movement to put an incel on the Federal Reserve.
Is this Jordan Peterson?
Right. Here we go.
A lot of people look at it and said, what do you mean by that?
Well, look, first of all, when you look at what's happened under Donald Trump and what's happening with wages now and increases in income, I think prosperity and economic growth are a women's issue. They benefit, blacks. They benefit minorities. This is, as you just said, this is a sizzling economy right now. I'm very proud to have played a role in this. I was the senior economic advisor with Larry Kudlow to that campaign. It's a really, really strong economy. Women have benefited. George, we have the lowest.
Let me just interrupt you right there.
We have the lowest unemployment rate for women in 50 years.
But right there in that
that's
article,
a big deal.
In that article, you're taking on legislation designed to close the wage gap.
We are closing the wage gap. I mean, the way to close the wage gap is by creating a healthy economy. Right now, we have 7.1 million more jobs than people that are filling them right now. That's allowing women, minorities, others to increase their wages. I mean, look, I'm happy and proud of the fact that I played a small role in creating an economy today that's probably as good as it's been in 20 years. In terms of the labor force issues right now, George, this is the best labor market for workers in your and my lifetime. I mean, look, I'm not going to apologize for that. I think it's a fantastic thing. I just want when it comes to wages and gender equity, I want that to be decided by the market. I don't want government to intervene in those kinds of.
I mean, do we have more of this? What does Stephanopoulos do after this? Like, he's just sat there as Moore is specifically not answering his question and just going on and on in a desperate attempt to ingratiate himself with Donald Trump so he gets appointed to the Fed. I mean, this is one of the most naked.
Well, we'll have to leave it there. We have to have Meghan McCain on to incite against Ilhan Omar.
Does Stephanopoulos follow this up by going, like, listen, first off, I want to apologize for asking you to apologize for all the success that you've had. I really apologize for that.
Women have benefited. George, we have the
lowest. Let me just interrupt you right there.
We have the lowest unemployment rate for women in 50 years.
But right there in that article,
a big deal.
In that article, you're taking on legislation designed to close the wage gap.
Keep going a little further.
And as good as it's been in 20 years. In terms of the labor force issues right now, George, this is the best labor market for workers in your and my lifetime. I mean, look, I'm not going to apologize for gender equity. I want that to be decided by the market. I don't want government to intervene in those kinds of things.
Your fate is in the hands of the Senate, including some female senators, Senator Susan Collins.
What is going? Like, is he like contractually obligated to not make his subjects answer the question? I mean, it's almost it's bizarre.
Asking follow-up
It's like a
questions
total
is poor form.
gaslight. Like, wait a second. Are we supposed to believe that he answered that question?
It doesn't matter.
It really is stunning. I mean, I just don't understand. Like, surely Stephanopoulos was aware that he's not answering the question. He's just decided, like, well, I did the whole thing where you ask twice. If you don't get the answer, you just move on.
He could at least register that he did not answer the question.
Right. Right. Just so that my audience doesn't think they're completely insane, I'm not going to pretend like you answered the question. You clearly don't want to answer all of what you just said. There's no reason to believe that if you think it will destabilize the family unit if women make more because of legislation than you would if they just, based on the amazing success of Donald Trump. But they don't need to address that. And he did good. I like him. He praised me, and better than Herman Cain. Better than Herman Cain.
He also thinks that it wants to see kids 11 and 12 working. He's a kind of a radical on that sort of thing.
I'm sure he was really in the fields.
I wonder
I'm sure he was in the fields when he was growing up.
I wonder what that would do for our social systems if we reintroduced child sweatshop labor.
Even more stability.
Yeah, you don't want to deny those kids the chance to succeed.
That's right.